Hello, this is Steve with Apogee Hardwood Cleaning. This is our blog series, and today's blog is called Winter Hardwood Floor Care, Shielding Your Floors from the Cold. Alright, so this article is about how to take care of your floor during the winter months. And it is February right now when I'm doing this blog, and this winter is pretty mild, but we had some cold days there for a while. But what's different about caring for your floors in the winter versus the rest of the year? There are 8 points in this blog. And really, it's the top 3 that are really the ones that are different from the rest of the year. And they're really not different. There's going to be more emphasis on these during the winter months than it is the rest of the year. So the one thing you want to do, one of the concerns, this also depends on where you're living. So I'm here in the Virginia area, and compared to where I've lived previously, the winters here are pretty mild. But compared to like Florida, we do have winter storms, we do have snow, we have cold. So we have some of that stuff, not as much as some people that live north of us, but we do have some of that stuff. So if you live further north, you're going to have more of this than we do. But during the winter months, you don't want to be dragging that snow, because snow melts and turns into water, and water is not good for wood. So you don't want to be dragging that stuff onto your hardwood floors. And then if you put salt or any of the other de-icing chemicals out there on your driveway or on your street or wherever it may be, you don't want to be tracking that into your hardwood floors either, because don't know what those chemicals might be doing to the polyurethane, or if it gets into the wood. You don't want that stuff in there. None of that's going to be good for your hardwood floors. So you want to take protective measures at the entry point. So at your front door, you're going to want some type of mat or carpet or something down there to make sure that that stuff doesn't get any further than the doorway. You probably want to be removing your shoes at the doorway so it doesn't get tracked across your hardwood floor. You want to be regularly cleaning that stuff off your floors. So if you do have a storm day and you do get that stuff tracked across the floor, we know how kids are in general. They may or may not take off their shoes at the door or come running across the room. Or if you got pets, they do the same thing. They go running across the room. So you're going to want to make sure you get that stuff cleaned up. Alright, so that's the first 2 points on here, is having some type of protective measures at the door, and then just making sure you get that stuff cleaned up as soon as possible when it does get tracked onto the floor. Especially the salt and debris. Not only could those chemicals cause some damage, salt's going to be very abrasive. So it's going to scratch up the surface, and that's going to lead to discoloration and dulling of the polyurethane. Humidity is a big issue during the winter months, especially the areas that get colder. It also means drier air, and that humidity fluctuation from summer to winter can cause the floors to expand and contract throughout the year. And that's what's going to end up causing gaps and cupping and other issues with your floor, is having that expansion and contraction. The floors are built so that they have some room in there for some expansion and contraction. But you want to try to control the humidity in your home as much as you can to limit the amount of expansion and contraction that's happening within that wood. You want to keep that to a real minimum so that you don't start getting that gaps into your wood. So you want to really try to control the humidity. As with the whole year, you want to try to avoid wet mopping as much as possible. Try to keep excessive moisture off the floor. Especially in the winter time, when the humidity, if you're not controlling the humidity, the floor could be really dry because the air is really dry. And then you go and dump a whole lot of water on that floor, it could cause the wood to expand in those areas, and that could cause some issues with your floor. As always, you want to use area rugs and carpets to add protection to your floor. That could be an expansion point during the winter if you do walk through the house with the same shoes that are outside. As always, trim the nails of the pets so they don't scratch up your floor. Be checking for your floors, especially if there are humidity or drying issues. Keep an eye on your floor to see if there are gaps happening. You can also be watching to see if there is any abrasion coming from the salt and stuff that came in from outside. And then, of course, always use furniture pads. Use pads underneath the feet of furniture to prevent scratching of the floors. So that's all I've got for you on this article. I do have my book out on Amazon, a guide for hardwood floor care. Check it out on Amazon. It is available. It will tell you how to take care of your hardwood floors, what type of maintenance is required, what type of tools and products you should use, and everything you need about your hardwood floor care. Have a great day. Thank you.